in the bloopers, aren't you?
Probably.
Hey folks, welcome to the farm.
Start that over again. I wasn't recording. Yep.
Hey folks, welcome to the farm. It is July 5th. I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Patrick, say hello.
Hi.
Hi. Man, it is muggy. My screen's fogging up.
All right, this is the first time we've done this. We are
Turn that down that way it doesn't echo.
absolute amateurs.
Let me know.
He's implanting your opinion in your head so that you have to. That's how brainwashing works. You're not asking for an opinion. You're asking them to agree with you. Absolute meatloaf goodness right there.
Isn't that
The crazy thing to me is watch her
nice?
cut this
With
open.
bacon, let's cut into this.
Oh.
Cut it open.
This is what I grew up with, is these two imbeciles.
I'm Anthony at the Fallen Border Crossing, and I can't get these goats and chickens off the trailer and into the canoe to get across the river.
Hey! How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Doing, not going. Don't go. How's everybody going? Doing.
So you guys were coming in quicker than I can type. So, all right. So we got Darren from Down Under Farm and Forge. Good day, mate. And
Good day, mate.
And we got David from Highland Homestead. Tin Can Gardner, welcome, sir. I think your shirt went out in the mail yesterday. Tin Can Gardner, homegrown wife, welcome. Glad to have you back.
Before we get too far into this, I need to make sure that my mic's not doing some crazy echo like it did last time. I sounded like I was in the water.
All right, we got Misty and Justin in here. I wasn't sure if you guys got my email, so Rick's going to answer your question that you had tonight, and it's not an easy question to answer. So, you know, he got a fairly good response when we did that tech video Friday, I think it was, or Monday of this week, and so he's if that would be helpful to folks that are coming in here, then we can do a segment, you know, periodically. Send Rick some questions, and he can kind of be your technical guru on our Wednesday night live, because that would make him really, really happy. Hey, Deb's Way, how are you, ma'am? Hey, I enjoyed your Veterans tribute today. That was a nice short video. So thank you.
Happy Veterans Day, everybody.
Do we have veterans? Any veterans in here? I'm not sure. So there was some in here. So I hadn't seen. So we did our. I think some of you have probably seen our. Or most of you, I think, have probably seen our video that we put out for this barbecue challenge last night. So, you know, I did a shout out to some of you. I think Pizza Homestead was in there because they had theirs done prior to ours, so I was able to get that. Thank you, homegrown wife. I really, really appreciate it. So this is the one area of my house that I've got an I Love Me wall. All of my military paraphernalia is up there. So haven't seen them in here yet, but we've got so Misty. All right, USMC, outstanding. Highland Homestead. Well, thank you for your service, Misty. That is awesome. It's kind of funny is when you talk to some vets, kind of what their background, what their service is. Thank you, Deb's Way. I really, really appreciate that. That's like I think I've mentioned it on here before. I listened to a podcast from a former Navy SEAL pretty regularly. That's what I listen to on my way into work, on my way home each night, and just talking about how they apply kind of military discipline to all aspects of life, and I really, really have come to appreciate that the older I get, how that discipline that I learned when I was really, really young, 18-year-old kid. So I was in the military from the time I was 18 until I was 20, almost 25, or I was 25 when I got out. And I still am very. It's amazing how it impacts the way that you view the world. Here's a perfect example. I mean, you're kind of taught tactics. You're, depending on what branch you're in, those tactical training may be much more in some branches than they are in others. Southern Boy Prepper, welcome. Your shirt went out yesterday as well. So we had a big delay at our local production of getting shirts. So yours went out today as well. So check for it in the next few days. You should be seeing that. But when I go into a restaurant, there's two things that really, having been out of the military now for 35 years, that still kind of dominate how I live my life on a day-to-day basis. One, I cannot sleep in a quiet room. When I was in the Navy, I was on the second deck, which is, for those that aren't familiar with, so you got the main deck, which is the very top deck of a ship, and underneath that is the second deck. And so where my rack was, what they call a bed in the Navy, they're stacked 3 high. I was right at what's called the water line. So it doesn't matter if we were underway or not, there's always water splashing on the side of the ship. And there's just nothing more hypnotic that will allow you to go to sleep as quickly as that kind of constant splashing of water. And underneath where I slept was a diesel generator, one of the 3 on the ship. So, hey, Ridge Life, how are you, sir? So one of the 3 diesel generators on our ship was right underneath where I slept. So to this day, I cannot sleep in a quiet room. I've got what I call a noisemaker. It's actually a sound conditioner that's got to be on when I'm sleeping. I will not be able to go to sleep. So that's one thing. And then another thing is anyone that's been in any of the Army, Marine Corps where they actually handled weapons can probably appreciate this more. I was on our tactical response force for the ship that I was on, so we got some special training that others didn't have. But when I go into a restaurant, you will never, ever, ever see me sitting with my back to the door. I just don't do it. I always am looking at the door straight ahead of me so that I can see what's going on when people come in. It's kind of a weird thing. My family have just come to kind of accept that. So, all right, well, let's get rolling. I wanted to do a couple of shout outs. Last week, first time into our live, we got a super chat from Norseman Honey. I've checked his channel out this week. I wasn't familiar with it until he came on to our live this week. And it's basically a beekeeping channel. So check him out. I just want to say thank you for that super chat. And go check him out if you have not.
It's a very informative channel. He definitely seems like he is in tune with the bees.
So Tim says it's much more quieter on a submarine. I would guess it is. Those are designed not to make noise. A surface ship is loud. It is noisy. So you don't see us running around and is it true, Tim, that they wear like sneakers on a submarine or like tennis shoes? I do the same thing with the door. So Tim knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure, there's others out there, but I never, ever, ever sit with my back to the door. I'm always looking at the door. So if someone were to come in and make hay, I would be in a position to be able to respond to that. So it's just kind of one of my weird things.
Yes, I will post a link to Norseman Honey's
Yeah. Now, Debs, he kind of comes in and out. He's got control over, how people come in and everything, and so he just kind of brings himself in and out. The other two, I wanted to do a couple of
like this. Hold on. Watch.
Go ahead, Marmina. So Madeline's in here. We got a fan club tonight. So let me see your shirt. Original Goat Whisperer. Rick, do you see our guests on?
Nope, not yet.
All right. So I've told our guests to kind of come in about 7:10. So expect them to be coming in anytime now. But I want to do a couple of channel shout outs. I watched some of their videos this week and I sensed some, I don't know, their little frustration in terms of they're just not building subscribers as quickly as they want to. And, so I wanted to give them a shout out. Hopefully if you are not familiar with, that's a new one for us right there. 9252 Life Off Grid. Welcome to our live. So Pettway Family Farmstead. I sent you that link that was in that email, James, and we're waiting on you to kind of come in with that link. So the first channel, and this is Gail's Southern Living. Now, Gail's Southern Living is a smaller channel. As of this morning, they only had 168 subscribers. I was chatting with Gail last week. She was on our live. I'm not sure she'll be in tonight. Twin Brook Acres, nice shirt. Are you talking about Madeline's shirt, or are you talking about Little Rick's shirt? Because Little Rick's got our new shirt design on, and Madeline's got her and her Lala. They get lots and lots of weird goat shirts.
This is from Anna, actually.
Oh, so this is from Lala's friend Anna. She gave you that today? Mm-hmm. She was over at doing a farm visit today with her Lala and her brother.
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Hey, there's my brother on. So
he's also a vet.
Yeah, my brother's also a vet. That's Terry Robinson in the live. So let's back to Gail Southern Living. So, Gail, she was in here last week and we got chatting. I watched some of her videos and we got talking and I just sensed some frustration that, she's got a lot of videos out there, but she's just, she's not, people aren't getting there for her. And, so she, out of the blue, just kind of rolled our playlist, and she was rolling our playlist probably for 3 days. And I just was very, very grateful, that humbled, that, here's a channel with 168 people, and she's spending time watching our videos. I think there was an ulterior motive because she learned last week, though, that in order to win our live, she wants a shirt. In order to win our live, she got to be able to answer questions from our videos. So I think she was doing, there's Gail Southern Living right in there. So check out Gail's channel. I was just humbled that she rolled the channel this last week. She didn't have to do that. And she's got some great content. She does some canning. She does a lot
of videos too.
She's got a lot of videos. There's a lot of content there. We just need people to kind of go over there and show Gail some love. She's a good supporter, and she will help spread your word as well. And the other one that I wanted to kind of just shout out and is Our Cabin in the Woods. Tony is just an outstanding guy. Tony's in a lot of the groups that these groups are that the folks that are in our live right now. He's in a lot of those groups. He's in a lot of these, you'll see him commenting often. You'll see him on lives during the whole day. Very, very active in his community, incredible supporter. And he's feeling like he's just kind of stuck at 606. So I told him, Tony's just one of these guys that really wants to support you as a content creator, as well as, if you show him support. Every Monday, he does a shout out video where he rolls all the channels that have subscribed or that have left comments in his videos for that week. And, here he is frustrated about his own channel not growing, and he's really just kind of focused on helping other channels kind of get their numbers up as well. So check Our Cabin in the Woods out. Tony's just a great, great guy. Hard-working fella. He's retired, but he's never not moving around. In fact, you'll see him on live during the day, and he will just say, I got to go back to work. So, hard-working fella. So, we got any others in here? So we got.
I'm gonna run through the list real quick. Just again, Ridge Life. How you doing, buddy? Hat Creek, Suburban Homesteader. How you doing? Where else? Twin Brooks Acres, Highland. How are you, ma'am?
Silhouette Park Farm. It says video unavailable.
What is that?
That's from Silhouette Park Farm. I don't know. That must be on their end or something. So,
Is anybody else having an issue with the video?
must not be because Deb's Way commented that you were missing.
Oh yeah.
So that's got to be. That's got to be
I forgot
something.
to snap whenever I came back in.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to bring in our, we'll make comments as they're talking. We're going to bring in our guests, and the recall that we started from I think the second live that we did. We started kind of putting the words out that we want to get channels that are growing. Under 1,000 subscribers is kind of the main criteria, and so who we have in here tonight is a couple that I had met, hadn't heard of their channel until a couple of months ago. I think it was last month. We did a live or did a meetup up in Warner Robins, Georgia, that was coordinated by Ed's Attention to Detail. Ed Hatmaker and his wife Ernie Hatmaker, two different channels, were just great people. So they organized a meetup with about 7 channels, and they invited also James and Angela Pettway from Pettway Family Farmstead. And so I asked James a couple of weeks ago if they wanted to come on, and they have agreed to do that. So Rick, bring them up into the main queue.
Dad,
So
they're right
James,
there.
huh?
They're right there.
I know, but I don't want to be big. Make them big. There. I don't want to be big.
Rick, I'm
right.
big enough already, Rick. I'm glad. That's why just this much is on the screen.
So this is what you're going to love about James. And I noticed this because here's how this. So we went up to Warner Robins and we met. We had never met prior to that. Had a great time, and then Kimberly and I, when we realized where this was. Now this is Warner Robins is south of Macon. That's correct. Yeah, so it's south of Macon. So we knew that was going to be up there a ways. So what Lala and I did is we hauled our camper up there and set up on a Georgia State Park up there. And so after the meetup, we had Ed and Ernie Hatmaker and we had the Pettways come over. They kind of sat around the campfire, ate campfire food, and had a couple of beers, and it was a good time.
No marshmallows, though.
No marshmallows.
Well, we didn't have marshmallows. So here's the bizarre thing: is that weekend there must have been like a national marshmallow shortage. We couldn't find them in Jacksonville. We couldn't find them anywhere along the interstate between Warner Robins, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia. We went into a Kroger. We went into a Winn-Dixie, and I even went into the Dollar General. Nobody had marshmallows. It's just
s'mores with no marshmallows.
So, yeah, we had chocolate, we had graham crackers, we just had no marshmallows. so we just drank a few beers, and it was a good time though. So I wanted to get you guys on here and in this, so that kind of introduce you to some of the folks that kind of come on to our live and introduce you to them, and hopefully they can give you guys some support. But they're good people. Now, so where are you from? You know what's coming after I answer this. After I ask you this question, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Well, actually, we didn't go study for this, so it'll be ad lib here. But we're from Hogansville, Georgia. It's a little town southwest of Atlanta, almost in Alabama.
So he didn't even give me a chance to ask him, like, where in the world is Hogansville, Georgia? Because that was the question I asked him.
It's because he's already used to saying it's south of Atlanta.
Yeah, it's just the side of Alabama, so it's way over on the western side of Georgia. Beautiful area over there. So, Angela, kind of introduce you guys. Introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about your farm and about yourselves. And
Okay. Well, I'm Angela, and this is James Pettway, and we live on 5 acres with our children and their families. As a matter of fact, our son is moving on our property. We found out we have a lot of things in common with Lala Farm. While we spent some time together with
I got some stuff to learn from you.
But it goes pretty good. We all get along for the most part.
As long as we don't talk to each other, communicate,
Right,
we get along
exactly.
well.
Yeah, the only time me and Papa ever talk to each other is right now. Other than that, we'll see each other in the hallway and it's just right past each other. Don't say nothing to me. It's not Wednesday.
So you guys actually have one of your son has moved onto the property that with you, correct? And they're living there now?
No, our oldest son, my daughter-in-law, whom I call my daughter, first and only daughter we've ever had, and our 2 grandbabies, which because we don't really care about the son and daughter-in-law anymore because we have the grandbabies. But they moved onto our property. They moved into our basement until they finished. We deeded them 2 acres on the back side of the property, and until they finish their property, finish with their house, getting their house moved in, and they'll live in our basement.
How many acres did you deed them?
2.
That's the minimum.
You only gave me 1.
That was what we were going to do, but the county said we had to do 2.
We had to do 2.
We didn't have.
I gave him the absolute least I could.
That's what we did.
That's 1 acre.
Okay, you got to remember, little Rick. I did tell him, little Rick, that they might be getting 2 acres, but they're gonna have pigs in the backyard and chickens and goats in the front.
Oh, that's fine with me. That's what I've been telling everybody that's come out there to look at it, to do the surveying and whatnot. And they're like, well, I mean, 1 acre is not all that bad. I said, well, as soon as it's needed for something on the farm, it's going towards that.
That's right. But you know, the strange part about just a quick note, our county has such crazy, we're in the country, literally. There's nothing here, 1 stoplight in the whole county. But they had a problem with, apparently in the past, with people coming back and suing the county for landlocked properties. I was trying to give my son an easement to get to the back of the property, and they wouldn't allow that. So we had to give him road frontage from the road. So that took up 3/4 of an acre, his 2 acres, trying to get a driveway all the way back to his property.
Mm-hmm. But we have chickens. We have a lot of chickens, and we now only have 1 pig. The other 2 are headed to freezer camp. So
they're probably just hanging out right now.
Yeah, they're just hanging around.
So do you do mostly meat birds, or are you doing eggs?
Eggs.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do meat birds in season, but right now we just have eggs.
How many egg birds do you have? I was watching a video and
Rick, there's getting people say they're not getting video.
Buffering again.
We were until just a minute ago.
Let me look at it real quick.
Willie Grow keeps getting blocked. We keep unblocking him every time. His comments keep getting held for review. Every one he sticks up there, we keep releasing it every time it comes up.
Right. Well, there's 2 or 3 comments that says they're not getting any video, and it looks fine on our end.
It's fine on our end. I don't.
My wife looks good on my end.
That'll get him later.
So you guys started your YouTube channel. So Gail Southern Living. I can't wait to see the rule video. Okay, she's talking to okay. Silhouette Park Farmstead. Sorry, I can't seem to get to video. I've tried twice. No video, no audio from Castle Hives.
Chelsea's downstairs. She says that she can see us.
Let's try to. Can we?
We cannot do it without redoing the whole thing, which is going to take us a minute.
Can you leave the studio and come back in?
Yeah, we can come back in if we need to.
All right, guys. So we're going to try to reset everything. See if I can work some magic so we can go ahead and put you guys back on.
They got it now. I don't know.
We got you now. We got you now.
Norseman Honey staying still, no video. But then Twin Brooks says it's working fine for me. So I don't know. Try to refresh your page and see if that helps. So you guys started your YouTube channel when?
May.
July. Right on July, May or July. I don't know the exact date, end of May.
So
June,
4 or 5 months or so
4 or 5
ago.
months ago, yeah.
What prompted you to get into this weird thing called YouTube?
Well, honestly, for probably 2 years now, James has been pushing me to homestead, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not raising chickens, and I didn't mind the egg chickens, but I did not want to do any of the rest of it. And then about a year ago, I was like, sure, let's go ahead. Now we've been watching YouTube videos, and for about 6 months before we started the channel, we had decided that that's what we were going to do once we got a few more things going on the farmstead, or the homestead.
So this is interesting because, you know, I was watching a video the other day, and they were talking about, they're defining homesteading, and, you know, how do you guys, you know, the question was asked in one of these lives that I was on, well, how did you get started? You know, how much does it cost to homestead? And it's like, and you just kind of said the same thing. James was bugging me to homestead. So when you say homestead, are you talking about self-sufficiency? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, as providing as much of our food on our land as possible. That's what I consider homesteading, at least for us. Providing as much food off of our land as possible, meat and vegetables and whatever else.
Yeah, because the channel that was asking, or the subscriber that was asking that question, was apparently in a city and was wondering how they could, you know, have a homestead in an urban population. And it's like, it's really kind of more of a mindset, the way that I look at it. You know, it's trying to be as self-sufficient as you possibly can. And so,
you know, Rick, that's the key. What you just said, as you possibly can. And if you're in a suburban area, you're in a city, then there are more limits to as you possibly can.
all right.
So you can homestead anywhere and be self-sufficient as you possibly can where you are.
Right.
And how much does it cost? Now that's a whole nother subject, because startups on some of the stuff we've done, for if anybody's watched our videos, for free or cheap.
Yeah, we believe in repurposing, reusing, recycling. There are more limits to as you possibly can.
What is that?
All right.
So you can homestead anywhere and be self-sufficient as you possibly.
Sorry. That's me.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna make a
You
recommendation.
just echoed.
I apologize for that. I'm gonna make a recommendation. If you are having issues with the, all right, if you're having issues with YouTube, it's like a YouTube-wide thing. This is not just our internet. I recommend going over to Facebook. I'm gonna drop the link on the YouTube. Just go over there and you can watch the live from there. So I apologize, but that's about the best I can do for you right now. So.
Wow, that's a big deal if all of YouTube's down. Wow. Well, James,
we broke YouTube.
Wow. When, you know, this is something that's interesting that I learned about or from you, James, when we were around the campfire. You know, I had never heard of this breed. We've kind of talked about getting pigs, and you raise a certain kind of pig that I've never even heard of before. We've been contemplating, eventually had kind of set our head on getting what's called a cooney pig, which is a pasture raised pig that we could put out with our goats, and they would not be competing for food, and they generally don't rut up the pastures as much as a regular, I guess you'd say, a domestic pig does. So what are you raising? Tell us about what you got.
We raise Idaho pasture pigs, which are, a lot of people call them IPPs, but Idaho pasture pigs. And Idaho pasture pig is one of the newest actual registered breed of pigs. And when I say new, they became a registered breed, I believe it was about 13 years ago. They are a mix between two of the well-known meat breed pigs, which are the Duroc. Any of you guys have looked those up. They look like a bodybuilder pig. And the Berkshire, which is the Kobe beef of pigs. So they're two meat breed pigs. And the third is a cooney coon, which is what you're referring to. And the cooney coon is what makes them more of a pasture raised pig, more of a grass fed pig. I can tell you that they don't root. I mean, they do a little bit of rooting like anything that sniffs around, but they do not root like a conventional pig at all.
Yeah, because this is the first time we've actually slaughtered these, but this is the first round that we've done with them, and the other pigs would have torn up our fences, and they did not. They dig their snouts under the fences or any of that.
We had no problems with pigs getting out. We had no problem. They're very well. They're known for being very mild mannered, being very gentle. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The grandkids were in there. These are 250-pound pigs. We just took to freezer camp, and the grandkids were in the pen as much as we were. Mm-hmm. They're very well known, very mild mannered, and they don't root. Keep them food and water, and they don't even try to get out. They just run around and are happy as heck to see you every day.
So all of our fencing is built for goats, large meat goats. So I doubt they'd have any problem probably with pigs, huh?
No, as long as you've got a fence about 2 foot high, you'll never have to worry about a pig getting out. What's your low? Have you got wood board fencing, or have you got wire fencing?
It's all wire. It's all 4x4 red brand.
No, you won't have, if it's red brand, then it's got a good solid wire on the bottom. You won't have a problem.
Yeah, it's got the really.
Yeah, we didn't have any electric fence around the bottom of ours. A lot of people put that around there, and I want to run 2-wire electric just to move our pigs around some more. We weren't able to graze them as much this year because of all the construction we have going on the property. But no, we kept ours in a very large hog panel pen, and we supplemented it with pallet walls.
So Highland Homestead. So Eva, do you have these Idaho pasture pigs? Sounds like she's got them.
Yes, they are awesome. Yeah, I think we talked about that before, Highland Homestead. Go ahead, Highland.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Highland Homestead.
So it sounds like she's Gemini Homestead. It's a YouTube problem because nothing will load. Huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's a lot. I mean, I still had Norseman Honey pulled up, so I went to go pull up one of his videos, and it wouldn't play on my phone or the Wi-Fi.
Well, it's a bummer. Sorry.
That's all good. We still got people. They're going over to Facebook. So,
all right.
Buddy and Denise.
I believe Highland Homestead, y'all just got a breeding pair, didn't you, Highland?
Yeah, she got so registered. That's cool. All right, awesome.
We had talked on a different live, and I believe they just got a breeding pair.
We would like to get a breeding pair once we get all the construction done, and we can actually have our fencing done the way we would like to have it done, because you have to keep those everything separate when you have a breeding pair usually.
So how big? How I mean, typical weight on an adult pig when slaughter weight is what for those?
The ideal prime weight to slaughter a pig is between they say 200 250. We try to hit 225 to 250 is what we try to hit.
That's what the Coonies was saying as well.
It's supposed to be the best meat. It's supposed to be the prime of the meat.
Okay, cool.
Now, an Idaho pasture pig, because it has Cooney coons mixed with it, the Cooney coons grow out in about a 10-month period, Rick, if you pour the feed to them. The Duroc and the Berkshire, which are the other 2/3 of the Idaho pasture pig, grow out in about 6 months. This one hits right in the middle at 8 months, and that's when they hit. The two that we took to the market weighed in at 240 and 235. They were sisters. There you go. And we had them right at 8 months.
And then we have one more left that we got about 2 months later.
2 months later.
So she's not completely grown yet.
They were ham and bologna sandwich. That was their 3 names.
Sandwich.
So we got some Facebook folks in here. So you saw.
Yeah, so if you are a Facebook folk from YouTube, just know that if we don't know you by first name, we're just going to call you by Facebook name, but we can see all the comments for both.
So Buddy and Denise Nash, welcome. And then this one right here that says Kimberly George Robinson, that's actually Lala. So she's in here watching the live tonight too. So she's probably downstairs with the grandbabies.
Lala's on there. Chelsea's on there.
So, all right. Well, cool. All right. So
I have a question. I was watching a video where, we don't get this large without
definitely Highland Homestead, definitely.
Yeah, we don't get this large without someone knowing how to cook for us, so we know how to cook for ourselves. I was watching Angela cook you some hot sauce. Well, she had said that most of the peppers actually grow in y'all's garden. Do y'all grow a lot of peppers in your garden?
Not purposely. I don't eat peppers, but they do. I actually just made another batch of that hot sauce. So,
Okay, it looked really good when you were making it up. I love a sweet, like a pineapple sweet hot sauce. That's pretty nice.
I just made another batch, and there's still peppers out there that frost didn't get. So
There you go.
It's still like 80 degrees here. You know, the frost came in that one night, of course, and killed my green beans. But my peppers are still growing. So I may make another batch. Maybe maybe y'all can get some. Maybe I'll send them down there.
See, when Angela says not purposely, Rick, that's because she doesn't eat them like she said. So she didn't purposely grow as many as she did. They just
There was this ghost pepper challenge going around, and it's like, you know, anyone that can do that, they're a better man than me, and I'm going to tell you that right out of the gate. You know, I love hot peppers and I love spicy food, but I don't like spicy food that hurts you. And them ghost peppers, those just look brutal. I've had, you know, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, we had one of my daughter's friends. She canned some ghost pepper sauce, and then my lunatic son thought it'd be a great idea to try it live. So, yeah, I don't know. Norseman Honey, I saw a comment that you made, several minutes ago. You know, every farmstead or every homestead should have a couple of beehives. I agree. You know, we've got a couple of hives. It's just, you know, the learning curve, it just isn't, you know, we watched a lot of videos to try to learn how to keep bees and thought we knew what we were doing. Actually, when at the University of Florida, they actually have what they call annually a bee college. And you go down there and it's a crash course on beekeeping. So in our first year, we killed 2 hives. In our second year, which is what we're in right now, we've got one that's clinging to life, but I think it's in the process of
They're still out there because I actually opened up the lid today.
So I think it's in the process of collapsing. One of them we've already fled. So we've got to get better with our bee, and that's kind of a skill. And there's lots of beekeeping sites out there, and you know, Norseman Honey. We've been checking out some of your videos, and Ridge Life, some of their videos. Castle Hives. We've been watching some of their videos. So we got to get better with that. So I'm sorry I interrupted you. I just wanted to address that.
We saw the same comment.
We're talking about
We've been back and forth with that. I'm a no on the bees, and he's a yes on the bees. So eventually, I'll probably be a yes. That's usually how that works.
I wish my wife would give up that easy.
Here's what I learned about James. He is a persistent little devil. Yes,
by the way, speaking of persistence, Rick, you notice I'm not wearing a La shirt, Rick?
Uh-oh.
It's yours is in the mail. You know, I'm going to stop answering these shirt delay questions. Went out yesterday, right?
Yes.
We had probably 7 or 8 of them that we just couldn't get back from the printer because they had they're making all kinds of excuses. Yours went out yesterday. We sent like, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them out yesterday. Yours was in that bunch.
So what we're gonna before this,
appreciate the comment, MB.
Yeah, before this, the question comes up because it literally comes up every single Wednesday. Where can we buy your shirts? Where can we get a shirt? I worked diligently on this today, seeing as though I did not have to work. And so I know where we're going to start we're going to have them made and sent out by one company. It's going to cost us a little bit more on our end. But they will be for sale, and they'll be on one shop front where you guys can go and see everything that we have, kind of pick your size, pick your color kind of deal. But it's in the works.
Buddy and Denise Nash on Facebook, you summed it up precisely. Says, we Cajuns love seasoned food, not hot food. That's exactly right. I don't like hot because it's hot. I like hot because it tastes good, spicy food. We lived, Buddy and Denise Nash, we lived in New Orleans for a year. In fact, that's where little Rick was born. I don't know how long you've been there, but there used to be a big hospital. I can't remember, Meadowcrest Hospital on the south side of the main expressway there, and that's where he was born at. And so we lived there for a year when I was in the military, and I just developed a liking for very spicy Cajun food, and that's persisted to this day. So very good, very good. So now I got my mouth watering. All right, well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and I really, really appreciate it. Any closing comments?
I have one. I meant to say this earlier. I did want to thank all the veterans for their service. We meant to say this when we first came on.
Rick, obviously you, but I know there's more veterans on there besides you, Big Rick. But yes, thank all of you for your service to this country and allowing us the freedom to come onto your live.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I much appreciate that. We've got several veterans on here. We've got Hat Creek Homestead. We got Ridge Life. Tim's a former submarine sailor. See, he just said something smart, didn't he?
Not Darren. I'm reading the comments. I was reading Darren's comments. Okay, on the screen. Darren's been messing with me half the time. He like about the T-shirt and everything else.
All right. Well, y'all, thank you for coming on. This has been fun, and hopefully you get some new visitors over there to your channel. Kind of give you a boost. Get you a few more. We're not gigantic, so we're not going to push a ton of traffic over there, but hopefully you get a few.
Yeah. Again, if you guys are watching this during the live, or if you're watching it after it's been published, go over there and check out Pettway. So.
All right.
Pettway Family Farmstead. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Rick.
All right, y'all. Take care. Good night.
All right, guys. Bye, guys.
All right. Moving on. So I saw that Tim over at Ridge Life, if you're not on Tim's channel, go check Tim out. Tim's a great guy. He was really instrumental. I know I've said this on here frequently, but Tim was really instrumental when we first got started. I think we were, he highlighted us. He didn't know who we were, but he highlighted our channel in one of his Tuesday nights and Tuesday night Grow Your Channel kind of episodes. But Tim is very, very generous with his shout outs and really kind of working to push smaller channels and support them. So I wouldn't say a better man, La Farm. Rick, you're just smarter. Let's go. So let's talk about, we put out a video last night, and I don't know, I know some folks in here, because there's several in here that are in this collaboration. But some of them, I don't know if you've seen that video or not, but go over and check out our video from last night, which is our entry into the fall barbecue challenge. So the hashtag
I would love to share the video during the live stream, but we can't because YouTube's not working.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes though. So, excuse me. The hashtag is Fall BBQ Cook-Off is what that is, and basically it's any cooking, or you can cook anything you want, but it's got to be done on a smoker or a grill, or if you're from Australia and you want to show off, you do it on a rotisserie like Darren has.
It's not a rotisserie. You cannot call people mate unless you can call it the correct term.
The spit.
There you go.
All right. So if you want to show off like the Australians do, then they do it on this spit. So he did a leg of lamb on a rotisserie, and my mouth was watering watching it. It looked amazing. So Simply Jan, welcome Jan, as always. So we premiered ours last night. We did a I guess bread pudding, but it was made with donuts was the dessert. Looked really, really amazing. We did a corned beef, but instead of boiling it, which is the traditional way of doing a corned beef, we smoked the corned beef and also smoked cabbage. And it turned out just absolutely amazing. So check that out. So what we're going to do tonight. So for the last, let's do your tech question first, Rick.
All right. So let me get it out first. So Pettway, which was or Hat Creek, excuse me. Sorry. I'm mixing Pettway and Hat Creek. So Hat Creek Homestead got with Papa last week and asked, let's see, we're using my iPhone 6 Plus to edit iMovies, and asking if there was something better out there, and how do you get all the fancy banners at all the corners, like these guys right here. It's that right there, that the logo up top, the video that we play at the beginning, and just more or less asking some of our techniques in regards to how we do videos. So I use two cameras. We have, if you guys haven't seen the snap mount video yet, the snap mount video came out Monday, if I'm not mistaken. But it's hooked up to a GoPro Hero 6 Black, which is actually a relatively older GoPro. But it still shoots in 1080p. It still shoots at like 240 frames a second. And it's still a extremely good camera. And it shoots in 4K. I don't recommend shooting at 4K. But it's a good camera, and we use that a lot for our B-roll. So if you're looking at some of our videos where, if you go back to the dog one and you can see the dog shaking and there's literally water droplets flying off of them in slow motion, that was all done on the GoPro. And if you don't know what frames are, most all of your videos on YouTube are shot at 30 frames. But your slow motion video without all the skipping is done at 60 and above. I do mine at 120 frames a second. So the camera's taking 120 pictures every second, which is what makes up your video. The other camera that we use, I don't use a phone. I think I've made one video with my phone, and that was the Chelsea making blackberry jam. And I only use my phone because it was raining, and it gets better audio than the GoPro. This is our main camera. This is a Canon EOS M50. It's a very small DSLR camera, mirrorless camera, with a little Rode mic on top, which definitely increases the quality of the audio in your footage. And so that's the actual camera footage we use. And then we've just invested good money into good tripods. This is the Joby mount. You guys can get these things on Amazon that look very similar to this, and it's like $15 when you get them. They're nice, but this is all metal. The balls are metal. Has little rubber grommets and stuff. It's a very stiff mount.
Yeah, to kind of highlight the difference, we had a cheap mount, and some of our older videos, if you listen to the audio in those videos, you'll hear this ring, 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 ring. That's the mount moving. So this Joby mount or tripod that he was just showing you makes no noise whatsoever. It is incredibly rigid. So when you're trying to position your camera wherever it is, it makes no noise. Or even when you're carrying it, using it as kind of a quasi selfie stick, you don't get any noise from that. Whereas if you've got a less expensive kind of generic,
it's actually the one that Papa's live streaming camera is sitting on now, which is actually what we switched from. And every time you move the camera, you hear that.
Yeah, I can't show it to you, obviously, because my camera's
Here's another one. Here's another one. Like I said, we've invested a ton of money into mounts and whatnot, which is actually why I made that. That's exactly why I made that video Monday on the snap mount, is to more or less get rid of stuff like this.
Could you tell that he was excited about that snap mount?
But every time you walk, this is what you hear.
Yeah,
and it's super aggravating. And again, I care a lot about the quality. I care a lot about the audio and the video and everything. And so I try to invest in good equipment. As far as editing, I just really enjoy editing, and I can spend hours on editing and enjoy every minute of that, where Papa has zero interest in putting any effort into learning how to edit.
That's a true statement.
Yeah, he has zero interest in it. Be honest with you, I could care less about being on camera. But again, going back to referring to another video, if you guys watch the barbecue cook-off challenge or the fall barbecue cook-off video that we just put out this yesterday, if you watch that video, you'll see me in the background with that M50 videotaping Papa. I'm perfectly content doing that kind of thing right there, because I know if I do it, it's going to be done right. So
the assumption built into that statement is that if I do it, it's going to be done wrong, which
I mean, I didn't say that.
No, you don't have to. That's what you implied.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll apologize after the stream.
He's not really apologetic. He's only saying that. It's kind of like what a husband says to his wife when he doesn't really apologize. He's just saying it because it's the polite thing to do.
Well, I mean, I'm in the presence of company. So anyway, the editing software that I use right now is, and I do not recommend this for a beginner or someone who's brand new to YouTube, because one, there's a very large learning curve. Two, it costs a lot of money. And that is Adobe Premiere Pro mixed with Adobe Illustrator and After Effects and Photoshop.
But there's a cheaper option than that will get you
much easier option, or much cheaper options. Another one that Papa uses, he's not savvy on the Premiere Pro, so he bought a Pinnacle program. What is that called?
It's called Pinnacle Premiere Pro. So it's you get a lot of the function, 70% of the function that you get in Premiere Pro, but it's made for folks that have less technical skills, such as myself. Whereas Premiere Pro, you can manipulate every element of every screen, but you got to know how to do it. Where a lot of
real quick. So, hello, Walsh Farms. First of all, who was that? Somebody said up top. Where was that comment? Somebody had said, "Oh, Kid Family, how are you guys doing?" Kid Family says, sorry, don't know what's wrong here, but the circle of death. YouTube is having issues with all of their videos. So if you are having issues, head over to our Facebook, which is right there. That's the direct link into the same exact live you're in right now, except it's on Facebook. So head over to Facebook and watch this live if you're having issues with YouTube. It's a YouTube-wide thing. It's not on our channel. Pinnacle Premiere Pro. Go, Dad.
No, I was trying to. Pinnacle Premiere Pro is another application. That's what I use. So when we were kind of joking last week, but it's really not a joke. I'm kind of serious. When you see a video come out that it's very linear, meaning there's just not a whole lot of special effects in there. It's got a picture opening. It's got the timeline, but it's kind of like just chopped pieces of video. And then there's an end, like the museum one that we did up in Georgia for the aviation museum that we went to. That was my video. I put that one together because, I knew how I wanted it to flow. I did that one in Pinnacle Premiere Pro. It's a much easier program to use than the Adobe product that Rick uses. But you don't get a lot if you wanted to do a lot of the special effects that you see in the videos that he puts together, like the one from last night for the fall barbecue cook-off. That's done in Adobe. I can't do a lot of that stuff in Pinnacle, but I'm not really interested in doing that. So it really depends on, number one, what your tech level is, what your desire to learn tech is, and kind of what your outcome goal is. I mean, I think for the year, I think I paid, I want to say it was like $150 a year for Pinnacle. and I've already got access through my work for my Adobe product, so I own that suite. So for us, it's a different scenario. So that's how I access that. But I think for the bulk of people, Pinnacle would be a perfectly good product for most folks. And I know there's some
starting out.
Huh?
Most definitely for people starting out.
Yeah, I mean it's a desktop product. The learning curve is not really steep, and there is tons and tons and tons of videos on how to do whatever it is that you want to do. You can take screenshots to make your thumbnails in Pinnacle. Just lots of.
Another option you have is once you have hit the max on that Pinnacle. Once you've hit the max on that Pinnacle, as far as your cap, as far as learning everything that program has to offer, which, like Papa said, it's not a super in-depth. There is not a huge learning curve. So you'll hit that cap, in my opinion, you'll hit that cap relatively fast. There's other options out there. My favorite, and what I was using before we were using Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop and all that kind of stuff, is a free software called VSDC. Again, very large learning curve, but the software has a free version that allows you to do pretty much everything. And then even then, the yearly subscription to that is like, I think, $80. And again, I've done really, really, really in-depth videos or really technical videos on VSDC. And it's an awesome software. And then mixing with VSDC, the photo editing software, you could use GIMP. It's GIMP. It's 100% free. There is no paid version, but it's called GIMP, and it's identical to Photoshop. Does everything that Photoshop does. Again, large learning curve because of how much you can do with it, but awesome piece of software. And then in regard, this is the last part that I'm going to touch on, and then we'll move forward to the next segment, is we use the same exact streaming software as everybody else. I think.
Well, not everybody. Most people that I've seen are using StreamYard. There's a few others out there.
Most people that are on in the circle of like the ones that we watch, the majority of them are StreamYard. And that's the same exact thing that we're using up in the top right hand, right there. It's powered by StreamYard. We just have the paid version of StreamYard. And so we can, change the Lala farm, and we can add overlays and everything else. And the overlays are something that I make. That right there, I made that in Photoshop. And then again, the video that we play whenever we're starting up the live stream to kind of give you guys the opportunity to get in here and leave a comment, let us know you're in here. That was all done on Premiere Pro. So it's just a lot of time. In my opinion, I dedicate a lot of time into the YouTube channel and the Facebook page and just editing in general. So I think
that's a good question that Twin Brook Acres brought up, Rick, about one important tip. Your computer needs to be able to handle the editing software.
Yes. So Pinnacle, very low end. As far as I don't want to computer usage, a lot of that has to do with your processor, and a lot of it has to do with your video card, and a lot of it has to do with your RAM. Again, I don't know how much of you guys know about that kind of stuff. But yeah, you have to run Adobe Premiere Pro, and not necessarily Photoshop, but Premiere Pro. You do have to have a really good computer, or your render times are going to be insane, and your playback is going to be you're going to buffer in your playback. But
yeah, the other thing that is really important that a lot of the ones that I see folks doing their editing in is I forget the names of them. There's two of them that I see primarily, but they're online applications, and the videos are then stored in an online cloud. So you don't have to worry about any storage related issues. When the software, whatever it is that you're creating, I do know this much, Rick, you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but you're creating essentially a video file, an MP4 file or an MP3 file. Those files for a 20-minute video are gigantic. So unless you're using a cloud-based platform,
especially at 1080p,
right? Unless you're using a cloud-based platform, then you almost have to have a multiple terabyte external drive. Now that sounds really technical. Really, it's nothing more than a drive that sits beside your computer that has a USB plug in it, and it just becomes another hard drive that you can store documents on. And if you've got a 3, 4, 5 terabyte hard drive disk that you're storing your videos on, you will probably not be a YouTube creator by the time you fill that disk up, unless you're creating tons and tons and tons of videos. That's a lot of storage. I
can tell you mine's already a quarter full.
Right. So that's what
I think I have like 2.5 terabytes of footage on mine right now. So, and that's a lot of footage. But also whenever I go out and film for a 20-minute video, usually we got 4 hours worth of footage. So real time 4 hours worth of footage, not 4 hours worth during the day. So
right. So when we do what?
Go ahead.
So when we download the video, regardless of whether it's from the GoPro or the M40, all of that raw, what is it? M50. See, this is I ain't gonna put up with your crap. M50. See, this is what I gotta put up with.
Yep.
So regardless of, you've got a lot of raw footage, we kind of keep that. And if we can, we can pull old footage into videos if we're looking for something specifically for goats or specifically for chickens or specific, family members. We can pull old footage into a video. We don't do that a lot, but that's why we save all of that old raw footage and we store it by how old it is so that we can organize it onto that external hard drive. It just works for us.
Mac and Kid M16. Yep.
Mac's a good guy. If you don't, Mac's another. I got to get Mac on here for get to know you. We have never talked, but I've been following Kid Family Farm. I think they're up in, and I should know this, I think you're up in Kentucky somewhere, I believe. Check them out. They're another relatively small channel. You just never know what Mac's going to be doing day to day. He was out moving some stuff in one of his pastures and come across a pile or a bunch of snake eggs. So next thing you know, one of his next video, his daughter's got one of the snake eggs. She's hatching the snake egg out. So this last week, they released the snake back into the wild. So it's just a cool channel. Spitfire Red says, so she's using Pinnacle. I'm sure it's better than Microsoft Video Editor. Can you comment on that?
Yes. Pinnacle is much better than that. So,
I'm
Microsoft Video Editor is equivalent to literally just doing nothing is wrong with this. So let me not offend anybody. Microsoft Video Editor is equivalent to doing a YouTube video start to finish on your phone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I am by no stretch. I'm not technically ignorant. I'm not illiterate, but I'm certainly not really techie oriented either. So, I can pick things up relatively quickly. And I like Pinnacle. It's kind of my speed. I don't want to get into the minutia of technical details that you've got to know or be willing to learn in Adobe Premiere Pro. I just have no interest in that. So
I think the best way to sum it up, is you have really good ideas. But you're not like super creative.
Yeah.
That would be. I feel like that would be. That's the way it is. And it's the same way with Rebecca. Rebecca, she's
That's his sister.
Yeah, Rebecca Sloan. She's my sister. She's in Washington right now, but she is very, very crafty, artsy, fartsy. And so
Rick's really creative too. Turn around, show him the shirt. This is the new shirt design. So this will be one that's going to be on our. So you're like bound to your computer, aren't you? This one will be on the storefront when we get it up. So this is the brand new one. Don't flex, just slump your shoulders. There you go. Now I can see. So turned out really nice. But he designs these things, and they turn out really, really well. So Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, I use Movavi Video Editor. I've never heard of that one, but again, so I don't look for these Sandys. I mean, that's Rick Edwards, the creative genius behind this operation.
And I've seen some of your videos, Suburban Homesteader, and you got good video. Just because.
All right, stop right there. Stop right there before we go any further. If you are a freak for caramel, meaning you really like caramels, you need to go to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming. The link I've already put in there. Go to that channel and check. She's doing this whole new series on Christmas candies. And her first one was caramel from scratch. And I was sitting there. I wasted 20 minutes of work time watching this video that I can never recoup, but it was well worth it because I learned how to make caramels. And now this person here wants to make caramels with me. And so we're going to make some for Christmas.
Again, if you guys are having issues on YouTube, I'm going to drop the link again to our Facebook page. We're joint streaming with Facebook. I just dropped the link in YouTube, so you guys can go over there and you can watch the same exact live stream on Facebook as we're doing on YouTube. So it's a YouTube wide thing. It's not just our channel.
So let's be pretty much done, Rick. I'm just too small to fit in with you big guys when it comes to videos, but I do try.
Leg feels better.
Huh? Oh, she's reading the comments. This is my granddaughter Madeline. She's our goat girl.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys have any other questions, though, I mean, feel free. If you got technical questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll answer them. If it's something short, we'll probably just comment back, like, what kind of camera do you use? But if you're wanting to know editing and stuff like that, I'm not going to make – this channel is not an editing techie channel. But like I said, I mean, I'd be more than happy to voice my opinion or give some knowledge over a live stream for sure. So
now, if you got a specific question, I mean, we could probably do some of that on the live, but we're not going to dominate. We might give, if there's a specific tech question, maybe, spend 10, 15 minutes like we did in this one to kind of help folks out that have a specific question and kind of move their channel a little bit further if that's what you're looking for. It would make him really, really happy to be able to answer tech questions because that's his gig.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Madeline, Suburban Homesteader, said you are lovely.
Thank you.
So we're going to move on to.
So this is my first and oldest grandkid, and she's pretty awesome.
She's all right.
I get out of here. That's Rick's oldest.
I'm a dad. I'm her dad. I can say she's all right. So we're going to move on to what has been going around on Facebook. Tons of channels have been doing it. It is called the 40 Question Challenge, and we figured that we would go ahead and kind of run through some of these questions real quick. Pop and go ahead and answer the questions as we go through, and I'll go ahead and I'll.
So I know everybody,
So
everybody's kind of, I can't even keep count of how many channels have done this or not. So, we have not done this yet. So I asked her if we want to do it live. So we'll run through this really quick. It's been taking channels 10, 15 minutes. Some of them that explain their answers take a lot longer. So do you like blue cheese? Yes, I love blue cheese.
yes, blue cheese is good.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Coke.
Coke.
We're in the
Pepsi.
South. There is no such thing as Pepsi.
There is. It's called Mountain Dew.
Mama said I'm amazing. Ha ha, Daddy.
Yeah.
Number 3, are you in a relationship? Yes, for 34 years I'm in a relationship.
Yes. Married to the last one to leave a comment in YouTube, Chelsea Robinson.
She said I'm amazing.
Number 4, whiskey, tequila, or vodka? None of the above. I don't do. I don't drink liquor.
I like. All right, NA, non-applicable. Go ahead, continue.
Hot dogs or cheeseburgers?
Hot dog.
Cheeseburgers.
I don't like cheeseburgers, so hot dogs. I like
Cheeseburger.
hamburgers. I just don't like cheeseburgers, so hot dogs. But they got to be slightly burnt on the outside. Favorite food? It was funny this is on here because it was our discussion topic last night over dinner. If we were on a deserted island and could only have one food for the rest of our life, that's my one favorite food would be pizza. I don't think I could live without pizza.
What
I
kind
love
of pizza?
I don't care. It was
Meatball subs.
Meatball subs.
I don't know.
Meatball.
Probably a meat lover's pizza. But I like food in general.
I would say the Monte Cristo. So if you don't know what that is, it's a turkey cheese fried sandwich sprinkled with powdered sugar and dipped in raspberry jelly. Whew.
So there used to be a restaurant called Bennigan's, and that's what they were famous for, was their Monte Cristo, and that's where I was first introduced to it. What do you drink in the morning? The only thing I ever drink is water and unsweet tea. That's it. That's all I drink.
Mountain Dew.
Can you do 100 push-ups? Yes, it would take me 100 days to do 100 push-ups, though.
Yes, I can do 100 push-ups.
I could do one push-up a day for 100 days.
I used to be in gymnastics.
Okay, can you do 100 push-ups? I don't think you could.
Not right now.
All right.
Not right now.
Your favorite season? I got 2 favorite seasons, and we're in them right now, fall and winter.
I was going to say winter. I like winter because it's cold, and I got lots of fluff to keep me warm.
Favorite hobby? My favorite hobby is getting the time to spend in my shop doing anything other than sitting at a desk.
My hobby's this. Oh, that's so.
It's tech stuff. That's his hobby.
I'm not sure if it's playing.
It's embarrassing.
Do you have tattoos? I have one tattoo, and I got that one tattoo on the very day, I shouldn't say that, the very night that I graduated from Navy boot camp. And it was I don't even know which arm it's on. It's my Navy, says USN on my Navy anchor tattoo. It's my one and only tattoo, and I don't remember getting it because now there's laws against getting a tattoo while you're drunk. But it was the night that I graduated boot camp, and it's been with me ever since.
I have one tattoo, and it's visible. It says, "Your battle is my battle," and it's for my wife when she was battling cancer at a very young age, but she whooped its butt.
Walsh Farms. Oh, I miss Bennigan's. Brother, you don't know the half of Bennigan's was an amazing restaurant, and they've been gone from Jacksonville area for 2.5 decades. So they've been gone a long time. Do you wear glasses? Not as much as Lala thinks I should. But
so
yes,
true.
Lala thinks I should wear them all the time, but I don't.
Sunglasses. That's it.
Do you have any phobias? I'm going to describe it. A phobia is an irrational fear, and I would say no. If I'm fearful of something, there's a reason to be fearful of it.
I don't like spiders. at all. I hate spiders. There's been times in the morning when I used the restroom and there was a big spider in the bathroom, and I literally woke my wife up at 2 o'clock in the morning to come put it in a cup and was mad because she released it back outside.
Do you have any nicknames? I don't have any nicknames as an adult. As a youngster, they used to call me in high school. They called me Smokey for Smokey Robinson.
I have a lot of nicknames.
Like,
I have a lot of nicknames. I work at a prison, so
he can't say any of them on here. What's your nickname?
Nene and Maddie.
Yeah. Favorite candy? This is very simple. I love Score Bar, which is an English toffee. Really my favorite.
got to be Cowtails. Cowtails or anything that closely resembles Cowtails.
No, mine's Reese's.
The Tinkerer's Wife. Yes, YouTube is messed up. Apparently, we've been getting reports that
I'm dropping a comment now.
Nationwide, they're having problems. So we're broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube concurrently.
That is the link. Just dropped it into YouTube and Facebook. Go over there, and you're literally going to be watching the same live stream. Just it's being streamed as well to Facebook.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Yes,
I
and
believe in spirits.
I believe in good and bad spirits. I don't know that I believe in haunting ghosts.
I believe in spirits, not ghosts.
I don't know.
Biggest downfall. When I commit myself to something, I go all in, and that just sometimes gets me into trouble with Lala.
Madeline, go let Rick Isaac know it's bedtime. Or 15 minutes.
I'm not really sure what mine is.
Biggest downfall.
Biggest downfall. More or less the same exact thing. I was going to say a cliff because that's a really big fall, but that would have been a joke. Biggest downfall would probably not knowing when humor is welcome.
Yeah, I would agree with
Honest to God, yes, because it will be. I've tried to be humorous in really, really, really off situations, and people just look at me like wrong crowd. So, rain or snow? That one's easy.
Rain.
Piercing?
Nope. No piercing. No piercing.
Age. I'm 32. Dad is 87.
I was evicting mice from my kitchen most of the day. What a mess. Big job getting things sanitized. Well, we've got a mouse problem too, the Tinkerer's Wife, and I think I've fixed it, but it has not been an easy fix. 53. Fries or onion rings?
Fries.
Onion rings.
I don't like onions.
Really depends on where it's at. I guess the majority of places would definitely be fries.
Unless it is what's called steak fries. Now, you can't get steak fries in the South very often, but when I go and I visit my in-laws up in Western New York, everybody serves steak fries, and that's when I get my steak fry fix. Other than that, probably onion rings. Do you have any kids? Yeah, you're looking at the oldest one right now.
I have proof over there.
I do.
Over there.
So
That's one of my 3.
I have.
Prairie Sunset Ranch, how are you?
Favorite color?
Favorite color used to be green. I would say, or used to be blue. I would say green now.
Green.
Mine's purple.
Can you sing?
A little bit.
Yes, he can sing.
Can you sing? I can sing some that have more of a bass sound, like Tim McGraw. I can sing Tim McGraw songs pretty well. Darius Rutger, I can sing really well.
Can I sing?
If you tune in next week, he's going to be singing Darius Rucker songs.
No, I'm not.
On the,
No, I won't.
I already put it on the agenda.
I won't be singing.
It's right here.
I won't
It's right
be
there.
singing. If we get 25, if we get 50 subs this week, then I will sing Wagon Wheel by Darius Rutger, but I need 50
The whole
subs.
song?
I'll sing the whole song.
Oh, man. Woo.
All right, can you sing? Can you whistle? I'm a really good whistler. I can whistle out and in. So I'm a really good whistler. Where were you born?
Nolens, Louisiana.
A suburb of Atlanta.
Jacksonville.
Yep, Jacksonville. Do you have siblings?
I do have siblings. I have one, and I do.
She's not on here. She's not on here this week. I've got 2 siblings, one older, one brother, or one older, one younger. Can you cook? Oh, I love cooking.
I'm an eater.
I don't like cooking. I like baking.
Can you swim? This is a really funny answer because I was in the Navy and I was actually open water PADI dive certified, and I'm really not a good swimmer. But again, it goes back to, so Lala saying, yes, he can whistle. I wish sometimes he could not, because I whistle everywhere I go. He can't sing, I'm telling you. So there might be a difference of opinion as to whether or not I know how to sing or not. That's funny. So can you swim? So I was open water PADI certified for intermediate level dives, and I was in the Navy. So I've passed multiple swim tests, but none of those swim tests really require me to do a good quality breaststroke. They just require you to go from one end of the pool a certain number of times, which I can do using a variety of strokes, such as the underwater stroke, such as the backstroke, such as the doggy paddle. But I got it done. And it goes back to the earlier question, do you have any phobias? There's not a whole lot that I'm afraid of. I'll try anything, including swimming in open water when I can't really swim, because I have a buoyancy compensator that I know will save my life. So I can swim if I had to survive, but that's why I'm not a huge fan of the ocean, because I just don't like going into the waves. I'll swim in a lake or a pond or non-moving water all day long.
Go to Facebook if you're having issues watching it on YouTube. YouTube's having a nationwide failure.
Are you guys being able to watch us live? Ed, we're on, and some people can see us, some people can't. So Lala saying Big Rick can cook, but he can't swim. So are you religious? Well, it depends on how you define the term religious, meaning there's been periods in my life where I go to church every Sunday, and there's been periods in my life where I have not gone to church. And I know, and I've just had some bad experiences, really with people believing that the church, that praying for their God requires a gigantic infrastructure investment of millions of dollars to build a monument to the pastor. That I have a problem with. Yes, I am very spiritual. I have strong spiritual beliefs. I believe in God. I consider myself a Christian. But I don't press my beliefs upon anyone. And some people would say, well, then you're not going out as the apostles would say you should. And, to each their own. I mean, that's a tough question.
I am religious. I just don't feel as if I feel
You
as
believe
if
in God, you go to church, stuff like that.
I feel as if church can be many, many, many places. It doesn't have to be under a specific roof. Church could be your farm. So I do believe I would consider myself religious, but apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, I guess.
One somebody on here said, Twin Brook Acres. I was going to enlist with the Navy, but I can't swim, so that was out. Twin Brook Acres. When I went in the Navy, I could not swim. I mean, I just I float well. I can doggy paddle, I can backstroke, and I can swim underwater. And that's really all it took to be able to do my swim quals. But if I had to swim against a current for my own survival, I'd probably perish because I'm just not a strong swimmer at all. Shower or bath?
Shower.
So I was listening to somebody else's answering these 40 questions, and their answer summed my position up exactly. Why would you want to soak in a pool of dead skin? And that's exactly how I believe it. How I would view this. I just think baths are kind of nasty. I mean, Lala would sit in a bathtub until her boiling water becomes ice cold, but I just can't do that. I'm just, number one, it's not relaxing to me because I'm thinking about the other 10 things that I could be doing instead of sitting in a pool of dead skin. So
city or county? County.
Yeah, country. I'm gonna say that's country. It says county, but it's supposed to be country. Country. Are you a good friend? That's a kind of a loaded question. I mean, I would say, and I only say that because.
Can I answer that for you?
You can answer it.
Yeah. He is a good friend. He will not tell you what you want to hear because you want to hear it. He will tell you what he feels as if you need to hear, regardless of what you want. And if he feels as if he doesn't necessarily expect you to take his advice every single time, but if you're not taking, I guess, into consideration his opinion, or he holds everyone to a very high regard as well. So the people that are close to him, his circle is very, very, very small, but it's a very tight-knit circle.
Some people think I can.
I have when it comes to friends, I mean, I think it's kind of like the word hero. It used to be the word hero had meaning. It had meat. When you said that someone was a hero, that means that they did something just extraordinary that changed another person's life. That term hero now refers to anybody that does a good deed, in my opinion. And I just think it's kind of lost. It's been eroded to almost a meaningless word. And so has the term friend. When you said you had a good, close friend 25 years ago, when I was growing up, you had lots of people that you knew, but you had very few quote unquote friends. Now, I've got 1,500 people on my Facebook list. Some of them, I don't even know who they are. They friended me. Most of the people are in the goat community. And I know they've got lots of goat friends, and we use that on the farm, and it's one of the ways that we promote ourselves. But on Facebook, that's what it takes to become a friend. I can tell you honestly, I have got some very close relationships with people that, you've heard me kind of say on some live streams in the past that I'm really not one that I don't like these electronic relationships. I like sitting down with somebody, having breakfast, drinking a cup of coffee, looking you in the eye, shaking your hand, and saying, I enjoy your company. I enjoy spending time with you. That's how in my brain you form friendships and relationships. And I understand in the digital world, that's not always possible, but that's kind of my aspirational goal though, is there's just lots of folks that, I would love, we had this meetup with 7 other channels up in Warner Robins. I had an absolute blast, and I got to meet some great people within this homesteading, within this YouTube community. And I consider them friends now. If I've got your text number in my phone and it's saved under your name, yeah. So, it means I've met you. And so I think I'm a good friend, but I kind of define what that is. I will do whatever I can to help people. I'm kind of a helper. But I wouldn't say that I'm cynical by nature, but I guess that comes from, I trust people when they deserve my trust. I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, like I said earlier, I mean, I work in a law enforcement setting, and I get invites to go out and hang out with these people that are also in law enforcement, and I tell every single one of them, no, I'm not going to come and hang out with you at your house and drink beer and do all these kind of after hours extracurricular activities. Just because while we're inside of a gate or while we're on the job, I'll take a bullet for you. After I leave here, my circle is very small. The people that I socialize with is very, very, very small, and kind of in this kind of the same way Papa is. I hold everybody to high expectations, and I have high expectations of them. And the ones that I socialize with on a regular basis that I would consider friends, social media, and I'm not bashing social media because that's how we know all of you guys, but social media has really blurred the definition of friend. People, I got 2,000 friends on Facebook. I'm popular. I have, what do you think, maybe 10 people that I actually socialize with on text, and half of them I don't hang out with outside of work. My friends are my family.
Right.
Really, really what it is. So next question.
All right.
Any broken bones?
I've had several. I've had a few broken bones. I broke my thumb, broke my wrist. Yeah.
I've sprained my ankles a lot and my wrist.
Best way you could say it, Twin Brooks. I do keep my personal life, and which I have a high liability job. I work on the locking systems for a prison. So I'm always on call. So when I get called, I gotta go. But yeah, my personal life and my work life are very different places.
Yeah.
So I have had a broken nose. Madeline?
Never.
Madeline brought up an interesting thing. She says, "I got two good friends," and it's interesting because in this time of like social media. Not that she's on social media and everything, but that term friend has been eroded so much that we've really had to teach Madeline that everyone that you come in contact with that says they're your friend, they're more acquaintances. You're going to have very, very few quote unquote friends, that people that you can laugh with, cry with, and share your deepest inner parts with. There's going to be very few of those people that come in and out of your life. And when she looked at it that way, she says, "I've got two real good friends though." And all right. So how many TVs do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have 5 also.
5. Worst pain you have ever had. This is really, really easy question for me. Suburban homesteader, Wyoming. Thank you for coming by. There's lots of places you can go visit on any given night. So thank you for coming by. We very much appreciate it. So the worst pain I've ever had. This is really easy for me.
Hey Ed, how are you?
So back about the time that little Rick was born, I was playing in a church volleyball, interfaith church volleyball league here in Jacksonville. And we were playing a series of games at the largest Baptist church in Jacksonville. Now, I'm a practicing Lutheran. We've since changed to Episcopalian. But at that time, we were attending a Lutheran church, and they were having this volleyball tournament at this gigantic Baptist church. And I'm very competitive. And I was going back for a ball that I wasn't really sure if it was going to be in bounds or out of bounds. So I went back to save it. And all I'm doing is I got my head looking backwards at that ball, and I'm ready to put it back up to the net, failing to consider that there was a concrete cinder block wall that I was running at full speed without looking. I hit that wall as fast as my feet could move my body. And at the very last moment, put my hands up like this, and I literally broke my hand off. So it was dangling. Well, keep in mind that the environment is a large Baptist church, and I dropped the F-bomb so quick in this Baptist church auditorium that I think everyone was shocked and had to overcome the initial shock before they come over to render first aid. I've never felt pain anywhere close to that in my life. That's by far the worst pain I've ever had. My hand was just dangling there.
I'm not really sure.
E. coli poisoning, when it made me literally pass out because of my pain tolerance. So, but yeah, E. coli poisoning after eating something. Have no idea. All I know is that I was having some awful pains in my stomach, and Chelsea had to beg me to just go to the vehicle, and Chelsea had to beg me to get into the vehicle to go to the hospital.
Ed says, I'm taking my cooking video down after seeing Rick's video. Ed, you absolutely cannot take your video down. You give our video and Darren's video context. If anyone has not seen Down Under Farm and Forge, you got to watch it all the way through to the end. It is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, if you take down your video, then we're just going to look like jerks.
that we're picking on a defenseless Texan, and we cannot have that.
For no reason whatsoever. So you have to leave your video up, because eventually, I'm just letting you know, Down Under's still in here, right? If Down Under is still in here, I just want you to know the plaque is going to go like right there, or like right up underneath the flag, right there. It's going to be right there.
I know Darren said in our premiere,
you guys can see it, but the plaque's going to go back there.
Spitfire Red, I agree completely. Someday when I'm down in coming down that way in Florida, maybe I'll give you a call and we can meet up. I like to meet with people in person. Twin Brook Acres. No, I was not kicked out of the church. We lost our game, but I was not able to continue in that game. And I did get a talking to from the pastor at how mortified he was that one of his parishioners dropped the F-bomb at the Baptist church. So yes, I was corrected. I was not kicked out of the church.
Do you like to dance?
Do you like to dance? I don't mind dancing. I wouldn't say it's my thing. I do it because Lala likes to dance.
I like to dance.
Do you like camp?
Cool.
Do you like camping? I absolutely love camping. I've camped in every state from Florida to New York, and as my kids were growing up, we'd go camping at that time in a tent 3-4 times a year, and I think we've gone camping, as you can see from our videos, probably
you're on live right now.
4 or 5 times in the last 4 or 5 times probably in the last 2 months. Are you weird?
Ask Madeline that question.
I don't know how to answer that. I think everybody. This is another one of my grandbabies here. This is the littlest of the Ricks. Are you weird? I think everybody's weird in their own unique way. Anybody that says they're not weird, you got to question those people, because those are the ones you got to worry about. I think everybody's got weird traits. There's certain things about me that if you were to just watch me, you would wonder, what's this guy's deal? For example, Rick kind of looks at me and nods his head when we're eating dinner. I don't like putting ketchup or barbecue sauce or anything like that on my food. So I have to put it in a little dish, and then I like dipping it versus pouring it on. You just get too much of that on there. And then, another thing is I only, like, if I've got a plate with 4 or 5 items on it that I'm eating, see the trend here about eating? Eating is a really important part of my life. I only eat one thing at a time. So if I've got peas, corn, a meat, and some salad, I'm going to eat one thing at a time, counterclockwise. Generally, I
One thing at a time.
I don't eat a little thing here and a little thing there. I eat it very systematically, and I guess that's kind of my personality. Tag 6 channels. I'm not going to tag any channels, but if any of you have not taken this 40 question challenge, do it. It's fun, and it was going all around, and there's just no way that we could have watched all the videos where people did this. But every time I'd watch one, I'd learn a lot about but I would learn a lot about that channel and about the people that made up that channel, and it was always fun. So take a look at that, doing it, maybe putting a little short video. I think this whole thing took us it took us a little longer than I expected. So I think that's all we got. So that's my brother, Terry Rollins. He says I do the same thing, one at a time. Wondered if some group with nefarious intentions was hitting YouTube or something. The Tinker's Wife, I don't know what's going on. We've been having trouble since 5 or 10 minutes into our live, so about 7:10. And there's been, some people can see us just fine. Others can't get anything. They got no video, no audio. Some are just seeing video. Some are getting just audio. So I don't know, but they're kind of saying that this has been a YouTube-wide thing. Hey, Rick, YouTube is back up. Thanks, Jan. But, what's done is done. So you guys are probably tired of hearing us jabber on. So anyone that's in here that would like to come on to our Get to Know Him segment, we're trying to further develop this where, if you're under 1,000 subscribers, just shoot me an email. It's in the About section of our YouTube channel page, and we'll get you on here. Right now, I'm scheduling into later December. So next week, we are going to have Tin Can Gardener on the channel next week. Other than watching their videos, don't know a whole lot about that channel, so I'm looking forward to that. On November 25th, we're going to have MB Heritage Farm on. They're still in here, I believe. And then Southern Life Homestead on December 2nd. And then Gale's Southern Living on December 9th. So that's kind of who's coming up in the lineup. If we get a lot of inquiries, then I might end up doing maybe 2 of these, in a night. Right now, we've just been doing one. Takes 15, 20 minutes or so for the segment. But if
we also don't want to rush.
Yeah.
Rush through, having like 2 or 3 in a, 2 in the segment's not that bad. But once you get into that, like, if we ever wanted to do 3, I mean, we're already sitting in 1 hour and 42 minutes on this video. I don't want to end up rushing anybody through their segment. I mean, that's the whole point of having them on here, is to really try to push some traffic to their channel, and like Papa said in the past, like, just help them grow. We've been helped by many people get where we're at, which we're still a extremely small channel. By no means whatsoever are we large, but I mean, we had channels that are our size push us up to where we're at now, and I can tell you it was super helpful.
Right.
Ed, we would love to have you on.
Ed's gonna be on. Ed's on December 2nd. He's gonna be on.
Will we have our plaque by then?
Huh?
Will we have our plaque by then?
Well, that's up to the powers that be. If you have not,
we'll get our plaque by then.
If you have not checked out the 2 co-hosts for the Fall Barbecue Cook-Off, which is Southern Life Homestead, who we have on our channel affectionately renamed Little Eddie. Until this collaboration is done, he will be called Little Eddie. And then you got Michael and Bobby over at MB Heritage Homestead or Farms. They are the other co-hosts for this, and there's some amazing recipes that are going up. So check out that playlist, #Fall BBQ Cook-Off. Some amazing recipes are up there.
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah.
when we do win the plaque, like I said, we're going to put it underneath the American flag. What do you think about putting right here like a teddy bear?
I suggested to MB Heritage Farms that there be a secondary prize, like a small, like little Eddie Teddy. So it'll be like a teddy bear called Little Eddie. So I don't know if they're going to do that or not. Hopefully they'll take that into advisement as the steering committee for the fall barbecue cook-off. With that said, folks, we're going to sign off for tonight. What? Yeah. With that said, folks, we're going to sign off for tonight. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come on and listen to us jabber. I hope this was fun. I hope it was entertaining. If you've got tech questions that you think Little Rick would you'd like kind of an answer from him or some guidance, send it on to us, and we will see if we can get it answered live. But if you're under 1,000 subs, we're working on kind of some ideas for larger channels, but I haven't really come up with a good way yet to do that. So right now we're still focusing on smaller channels under 1,000. If you want to be on the live, similar to what Pettway Family Farmstead was tonight, shoot me an email and we'll get you on the schedule. Anything else, Rick?
Treat others like you want to be treated.
What, Maddie?
Treat others like you would like to be treated.
Yep, that's right. So, just thank you guys again for hanging out with us. I mean, that's about it. It's always. I love these. I love Wednesdays. I love hanging out with you guys. Make sure.
MB Heritage Farm, we're already working on a teddy bear. It'll be the Little Eddie Teddy.
That's what I'm talking about. So just make sure that whenever we get done with this video, you guys go back and take a look at the live feed. Visit everybody. If you haven't subscribed to their channel, go ahead and do that. Check them out. Get them up some watches, especially your smaller channels. Give them some support. So,
all right, Madeline, you ready? Ready? We're going to close. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Good night, folks.
Guys.